You're married to somebody, you're making a marriage partner pay for a mess that you made with somebody that wasn't even your husband and wasn't even your wife. I don't trust a woman as far as I can see her. But this woman ain't gave you no reason not to. It was Shaquita. And so now, since you gave your best to a relationship that was outside of God's will, now you won't give what you need to the one that's inside of God's will, and you're frustrated because you cannot see the increase God promised in marriage, but you have not given your best to the marriage. You gave your best to your boyfriend. And so now you got a lot of people right now in marriages, and they're making the person they're married to pay for the mistakes they made with Pookie and Ray Ray and Shaquita and Bolisha. You making somebody that bought the cow pay for all the milk that the food drunk. Are you understanding what I'm saying? It's amazing to me. My wife and I know some people right now that lived together for 10 years, got married, and the marriage didn't last for 10 months. Why? Because they didn't understand there's an attack that come on marriage, because Satan hates covenant. And he hates the marriage covenant, and he hates what God is able to do when two people come on one accord. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So there are many people right now on the sound of my voice that are married but have not embraced a marriage mentality. And secondly, there are many people that are trying to make their spouse pay for what an illicit relationship broke. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Sitting over there somewhere crying. What's wrong with you? Nothing. Okay, I can't help you if you won't tell the truth. Ray Ray really hurt me, and what you did right now just gave me a little flashback. I know it ain't you, but you need to help me come against that soul tie that I had with Ray Ray. We should have never been together in the first place. Come on now. And now the two of you work together to combat a soul tie that remained on this person's life, and break that soul tie, because that's what's causing so many problems. You married and never broke these soul ties from these relationships before you had a marriage partner. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Many of us don't understand that when you're talking, if a person have a soul tie, when you're talking, they hear somebody else's voice. And so you're trying to be nice as pie, but they're hearing Shaquita. And they remember everything Shaquita did in that last little dysfunctional situation. Wasn't even a marriage, the playhouse. And isn't it something how some people right now are in resentment in the real house because the playhouse had benefits. Quite naturally, your boyfriend in the beginning gonna take better care of you than your husband did. You know why? Because the enemy wants you to return to the vomit that was your life before you came to Christ. So he throws some stuff at you, and God is using it because you need to struggle together as a married couple. That's how you get loose of the dependency on your mama. You need to struggle together as a married couple, because then you begin to firm up something called my house. So one of the reasons some of you may wonder, why is it, as long as I was shacking, it seemed like some things were flowing? Because the devil pays real good care of his kids. And the minute you get married, things start teetering. They don't fall all the way apart, but it seems to be a little bit more distressing. And this is why. This is why. God allows you to go through things in a marriage to try the soul of the marriage, so that the identity of the relationship is distinctive from the identity that the individuals had in relationship to their former families and their former situations. So now there needs to be something established called the identity of your relationship. And the only way you come to an ID is to have to go through a crisis and firm up what you believe around the Word of God. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So God allows things that tries a marriage in the beginning so that out of those trials come definition, a new definition. The two become one flesh. That part of that process is you need to forget what your mama said, I need to forget what my mama said, and we need to now forge an understanding around the Word of God that tells us who we are. We don't need mama's advice. We don't need a room in their house. We don't need to borrow their car. I'd rather ride the bus than borrow mama's car. Come on now. We got to learn how to stand on our own as a standalone unit that trusts in God for ourselves. Mama, thank you, but I'll ride my bike until me and my husband, until me and my wife save enough money to get our own car, because we'll never have you hanging this over our head that you had to help us to get established and using that as a reason to put your 2 cents in my business when I'm having a problem with Bobo. When I'm having a problem with Bobo, I want to deal with Bobo myself. I don't need my mama's input. And sometimes people will do stuff for you in your marriage in order to buy a way back into your business. Say that again. Sometimes people will do something for you, not out of the kindness of their heart, but they're trying to buy a way back into your business. Because I told you he was, you know, and the way you ought to go is, well, you know, whatever he is, he's the one God gave me. And we're going to work this out ourselves. And we're going to do so without your input and without your assistance. You know, I'm not recommending this necessarily. I'm not recommending this. But our families, my wife's family and my family, y'all know I don't mind putting us out there because we delivered enough to not care about what you think. But our families didn't even find out we were married until they came to have a reception for us. You know why? We're like, we're going to start this out ourselves in the presence of God. We're going to start this out ourselves. Are you understand what I'm saying? Well, it wasn't in the presence of God, we weren't saved. But this was our way of saying, we ain't yours no more. And one of the things that I committed to and my wife committed to is whatever we need, we're going to have to come up with it, because going to other people is not an option. It's not an option. The two become one. And if us together, it takes three. If us together and God is our provider and the one who gives us instruction, if God can't take care of us, who else can? Are you understanding what I'm saying? So, some of us right now, the reason that, some people right now, the reason that marriages are not working and are extremely dysfunctional is because they gave their best to a scenario that was outside of God's will, and now that they're in God's will, they won't let their guards down. Are you understanding what I'm saying? You know, walk around the house, or walk around the bedroom in a towel. No, stay with me now. Stay with me now. Come on now, I'm in the marriage covenant now. I don't want you to see me. The devil is a liar. Who I'm supposed to see? Touch and feel it don't live in here. Now here's the point I'm making. The only reason someone would try to cover themselves up in the intimacy of their own room and is because they've never been healed of something that happened to them in the past. They don't got sense enough to know, listen, the Bible said that the man and the woman were alone and they were naked and they were unashamed. Listen, when you're with your wife, when you're with your husband, you don't know you're naked. Naked is normal. Hey. Hello. I don't want you to see me. Well, who else I'm supposed to see? But really what we're dealing with is this. We're dealing with someone who was gazed at, who was touched on, who was felt on, and never got delivered, and are now trying to make a legitimate partner pay for something that someone else did. Now you see why you got to get healed before you get married. Because if you don't get healed before you get married, you're going to drag in a lot of baggage that's going to weigh heavily upon the relationship, and it'll never be able to develop into anything significant because of a lot of stuff